Okay.
And then the resolution for street closures on Jamboree. This is going to be a standing resolution. But I did not add Mickley Street from Grand to Commerce.
So we should pull that down too. So,
yeah.
So we'll wait then to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have just a couple things for clarification for me. Under minutes, I think that should be the 19th to the 29th.
Yes, it should be.
Okay. And then you had mentioned about pulling claims out. Are we approving all of April claims tonight?
Yes.
And then 525 to 610 as well?
Yes.
Okay. But you said you're going to pull.
There's the additional claims
Okay.
on this sheet.
Okay.
The sheet.
They'll be included in the motion for the consent agenda then?
Unless.
Okay. Thank you. They're done.
So approving claims and Jamboree, put those down between 7th and 8th. Put those down between 7th and 8th. Work. That's adjusted.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the things we pulled out. I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye. Carried. Okay, item number 3 is public forum. For the public for items on or off the agenda. Matt, do you have anything tonight as public forum?
Not as far.
Okay. And we've got an agenda item that you're on, correct? Okay, all right, so nothing there. Agenda item number 4, city announcements.
I don't know if anyone else has heard the fireworks going on.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's still against city ordinance until the Saturday, what is it?
Monday
The
before the
Monday?
last Saturday
In June.
in June.
And then discharge hours are from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. on those days, except for on the 4th of July. There's quite a few going off up north, in the north part.
I haven't heard of it.
All right, so residents, please take note of that. Anything else in city announcements?
No.
Okay. All right, item number 5, consent agenda. Is everybody clear on go through what's on the consent agenda then, just so that everybody knows?
April financials and the minutes from 5/19.
Okay, entertain a motion for approval of the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye. Carried. All right, item number 6 is our Bryan County Economic Development. Yeah, please.
Thank you for letting me join you tonight. I did put my packets out already. They're thick, so just a bunch of papers. It's been a year since I was here last. For those of you who don't know me or don't remember exactly what our organization, how it's structured is, I'm Keon Johnson with the Bryan County Economic Development Corporation. We are a private nonprofit. We are funded solely off contribution dollars that we get from the county and from the communities and then some private businesses and utility companies. So thank you for your partnership. We appreciate that. I start out the year, usually my report's done for the Bryan County Board of Supervisors, and then after that I come out to the communities and visit each of you to talk about what we've done and what's going on. So our list of board members then is made up of a representative from each community plus one of the Board of Supervisors members, and they rotate off every year. So at any time you have any questions, comments, you can contact your rep, who's Marty Weber. He's also our board treasurer, or myself, or anyone else on the list. So you're always welcome to reach out to us. We have a few tools in our toolbox, I like to say, that we do. One of the biggest programs we have is our revolving loan fund. We do gap financing. We will do up to $250,000, not to exceed one-third of the total project cost. So we started this fund in 1993. It started out really small, about $10,000 was the loan amount, and over time, of course, those needs have grown. We ran out of money in 2005, and you can see on the list besides there in the bullet. We went to the USDA numerous times to receive funding. We have $500,000 that we get, and then we loan that out. So that's revolving in addition to our existing county fund that we started in 1993. So to date, we have done loans, excuse me, totaling $5,748,946. We do track the jobs created and jobs retained. I do have to report that information to the USDA. So that number is always changing, but currently we've created 319 jobs and we've retained 233. Those dollars then have made a capital investment of $37,626,000 in O'Brien County. And to date, the loans that we have partnered with in the city of Paullina have totaled $1,156,050. So that's a great number to see that we've been able to partner with Paullina and those businesses and to help them start up. So we will help new businesses looking to start or businesses looking to purchase existing businesses. We'll do equipment purchases, construction. We have a list of sources that we can use those funds. So we do have a revolving loan fund committee that does review those applications as we receive them. The information is confidential. And your rep is Cody Nelson, but the list of members there, you can work with any bank, even outside of O'Brien County. We have had that happen a couple of times. Not always, it's just when the project's one of our local lenders. But any bank in O'Brien County is familiar with our program and we're happy to help them. But if you have someone who's interested, you can reach out to me or Cody and they'd be happy to get them the information. Recently, our O'Brien County Tourism Committee has, in the last few years, has been working really hard at promoting our quality of life. We're finding out in this day and age that you can live in one place and work in another with technology. So why not make that O'Brien County? You know, we have safe, friendly, affordable communities. And so we're really been promoting our quality of life attractions. And I don't know if you heard the news, O'Brien County, this map here. So we exceeded the entire state for state and local taxes in 2023 and visitor spending. That's the largest increase. That doesn't mean we're getting the largest amount, but that shows you that we've been doing something. And by we, I mean not just O'Brien County Tourism, but each of our communities and stuff, and promoting what we have. So we just like to take what you're doing and promoting that. We use the state traveliowa.com. I can't tell you this enough, that it's a website. Their sources are free. Go out there, list your attraction, get it put out there, because so many people are using the internet now when they're traveling, and if they're looking for something in particular that you have, they will find it. So also I want to mention we did receive grant dollars over the last couple of years, and we have been bringing in various bloggers who've been staying in O'Brien County. They've been seeing our site's attractions and they've been blogging about that, and we have been
the way to turn it off, it's really easy. All you do, you come down to the bottom,
just growing
on the
that
right
awareness
side
of
you'll
what
see a
we
little
have.
arrow
But
with an open
pretty
button.
excited
You
to
just
see
click
that
on there.
we beat the entire state in those increases. You know, we don't have the Clay County Fair, we don't have, you know, the Tulip Festival, we don't have the lakes, but what we do have, we did a really good job of promoting it, and that's great. So love to see that there for O'Brien County. I did attach the spending report, and you can just see we're growing those numbers. We did have that little dip in 2020, but we all know what that was from. So we're kind of recovering from that, and we look to continue seeing that grow. I did get a grant to bring another blogger in this year, and we're doing an agritourism focus. So agritourism is really the hot topic now in tourism. And so we're bringing JJ, the Iowa Gallivan, up. He's been here a couple times. He's very familiar with this, but he's going to do strictly egg business, egg tourism. And we're putting a little different twist on it. We want it to be educational. So not only does he get to go to the pumpkin farm He's gonna have to actually do the work. He's gonna have to pick the pumpkins. We talked to the cut meat market in Sanborn, and he's gonna go there, but he's gonna see the process, what happens when the animal comes in and how it's made. So he's gonna have to get his hands a little dirty, but I think he'll do a really good job of showing people this is where your food comes from. And so he'll have fun while doing it. So we're doing that at the end of September. He'll be up here. So we look forward to getting that information out too. Then this third page, this kind of goes back to the build your trip. We've embedded that on our Bryan County Tourism website, tourbryancounty.org, and that was on the first page I showed you. I'd like to ask all of you to go out there when you have time and put in your starting city as Sheldon, put in your ending city as Paullina, well, Sutherland, say Sutherland. It'll bring up all the sites and attractions of Bryan County, and what I want you to see is, what do you have listed for your community? I went to the city office in Primgar and asked them to do that. They didn't have anything out there. And so they didn't know that existed. So they did right away. It was free. They were able to go out to the Travel Iowa site, submit their listings, and they were approved, and now they're out there. So it's a good way for you to check and see, do you have everything out there that needs to be out there? And again, it's free. So it just takes some of your time to put it out there. So go check that out. We want to make sure we get everybody in Bryan County on that website. So in addition to quality of life, we're looking at bringing people to the area, but we also need to focus on keeping the people we have. And I talk about this a lot, and I'll keep talking about it. And really my focus has really been telling our young people, we want you to stay. We have job opportunities, we have housing, we have education, you know, we want you to stay. We used to tell them, you know, that's okay, when you graduate, go off to college, but come back. Well, they're not coming back. And, you know, we know this. We did a survey years ago where we reached out to all the high school alumni. We asked them, we talked about jobs, schools, quality of life, churches, and asked them at the end if they would move back to the area, and if they said no, why? And the number one response was because it's too cold and too much snow. So we need to keep our young people here because they already know there's a lot of snow and it's cold. So Career Day, we still continue working with our businesses to get our young people out into the place of business. We think it's really important if they can see our businesses and see what they're doing, that they will be interested. And the feedback we're getting from the students is definitely, they're always shocked when they go into the place of business and see what's going on, that there's so much technology involved. The work environments are clean. They're not what we used to think of them as being hot, sweaty, dirty. You know, it's not that way anymore. So we do healthcare, agriculture, and manufacturing on Career Day. Then we started our new program, College and Careers, and we've been working with South O'Brien and Hartley schools, where we bring young people who've graduated within the last 10 years. We get a panel together, we bring them into the high school and talk to the students about why they decided to stay here, why, you know, about their jobs, about their education. And it is really shocking to hear when these young people talk about the great jobs they have and the great opportunities they have right here in Bryan County. And I think it's really good for those students to hear that there is something they can do here. And then also to connect them with the students. We did one at HMS, and we had a young lady who was on the Sheldon Fire Department, Ashley Corver, and she came over to talk to the students. And one of the girls in the audience was like, I want to join the fire department. How do I do that? And before we left, we had the fire chief, you know, on the phone, and we were able to connect her with him. And so that's what we want to do. We want these people to say, realize, I wanted to do that. I didn't know how to do it, and we can help them do it. So we're still continuing to do that, and we'll continue as long as we can. So quality of life. And then we also have our value-added aid committee. And that's one of our longest serving committees. It's a group of agribusinessmen who help us when we're working with our egg industries, such as dairy, or I guess whatever comes our way, we've been working with. And every year they give out the Hall of Fame Award. Last year's recipients were Johnny Westra and Fred DeYoung and Sons. We are accepting nominations right now for the Value-Added Egg Hall of Fame. So if you know somebody you'd like to nominate, please let me know. I'll be sure and get you that application. And then finally, the last photo I have up here, I want to show you another resource we have on our website, Available Properties. And we can list any available property, whether it's a building or a site. It's a free resource. It's a nationwide database called Location One. We put the information out there, and anybody searching will be able, in the United States, it's a nationwide base. They can find that information. What's really nice about this, as you can see, there's a bunch of tools on there. You can email a brochure, so if somebody calls you interested about a property, you can send that off. You can print it off. You can also do your area, which is what I attached for you. So you can even do a brochure on your community. You can email it out. If you have anybody interested, please use that resource. We have the information out there. Then also, when you go into your areas and you choose your community, there's a whole bunch of resources out there that reports that you can pull off of. So if you're ever working on any grants or just looking for information for to send to somebody, I was out there today and they actually even have an up-to-date traffic count map. So you can, as of June 2nd, they have the traffic count out there on the state highways. So really a great resource if you're looking for household income, housing profiles. This is just the community profile. It's just very resourceful. So if you're needing any of that information, please feel free to go out there and utilize it. Again, it's free. We have it out there. If you have any buildings or sites you want us to list, just let me know and we can get that information put out there as well.
What's that site called again?
It's called Location One Information System.
Okay.
But if you go out to our bryancounty.com and look under available properties,
Okay.
you'll see that image. I just took a screenshot of it off our website for you. Anyways, I appreciate your partnership and everything you've done for us over the years. Do you have any questions for me? And if you want to talk about anything in more detail that I talked about tonight, please feel free to call me or helping you get any information out on the Travel Iowa site. Problem is, I asked if I could put up the community information. I can't. It has to be someone as a representative from your community to do that.
Okay. So the city or the chamber, maybe we can take a look at that.
That'd be great.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Kiana.
Thanks for everything you do.
Thank you for everything.
All right. Moving on to item number 7 is a nuisance hearing for 308 South Maple. A little bit of the background here to make sure everybody understands this. Our city ordinances define certain nuisances, and one of the things that our ordinances say are declared as nuisance: farm animals and fowl, except in areas zoned agricultural, the keeping within the city limits of farm animals and fowl, including but not limited to ducks, geese, turkey, cattle, goats, swine, sheep, buffalo, horses, and ponies. That used to include chickens. Chickens now, of course, you can have 5, no roosters. So, the creation or maintenance are, again, from our ordinances, the creation or maintenance of a nuisance is prohibited and may be abated as according to this chapter in our ordinances. So what happens is the city sends out a nuisance letter to the property owner. That property owner can request a hearing. According to our code, again, any person ordered to abate a nuisance may have a hearing with the council as to whether a nuisance exists. The hearing will be before the council, which is what we're having here tonight. And the findings of the council shall be conclusive, and if a nuisance is found to exist, it shall be ordered abated within reasonable time under the circumstances. So that's where we're at to have this hearing, which is technically to determine whether a nuisance exists according to our code. So I want to hear from you if you agree that it currently exists under our code.
Under the code, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we've all got some information on it. So the council needs to do a couple things here. Consider action on the nuisance. Either, determine that, yes, we are determining and resolving it to be a nuisance. And then further discussion to potentially, as requested, would we be willing to consider amending our code of ordinances to change it to allow for ducks as well. So it's really, two different things. So from a nuisance perspective, I think we as a council need to make a motion to determine, yes, we have determined, if that's what the council determines, that a nuisance exists, and then we can go on to some further discussion. So I would entertain a motion from one of the council members, a motion to the effect that, yes, a nuisance has been determined to exist at this property address with the ducks that they have there.
I'll make a motion that yes, the nuisance does exist.
Do we have a second?
I will second that.
Okay, any discussion on that topic, council? Hearing none, all in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye. Carried. Okay. So where we're at with that is, so the council has determined that a nuisance does exist. The findings are conclusive, and unless something would change beyond that, that nuisance has to be abated. You want to talk just a little bit about what you're requesting the city consider?
We are, my boys are raising the ducks for 4-H for the fair. They're each raising 3 of them so they can be able to take 3 to the fair. So we would like to, continue to raise them, but at least let us raise them up until, after the fair. I mean, all of our neighbors are, they're okay with us having them. They lay down the street, a couple people down the street, come buy our cooler and buy eggs from us.
So one of the challenges that we have as a city is there's not a variance process
Right.
on ordinances. Zoning, there's variance application process. There are no variances that can be granted for ordinance nuisances.
Right.
So that, the council would have to really decide if we would want to consider amending the ordinance to allow for ducks or whatever the thoughts are of the council to discuss them.
So right now you have 9 ducks.
We have 6.
I thought you said 3. I thought I had 3.
I have 2 boys.
Oh, you have 2. I'm sorry.
I have 2 boys.
Okay.
So, I mean, we did put up a couple, petitions up around. Well, the one was down in the Casey's. Workmeister's wife signed it. She gave me her 2 cents.
Which he quit Casey, so he had to do what?
But no, we've had quite a few people that we visited with that they find it, kind of neat that we are raising them. When we got the ducks, there was a couple people in town already have them, so we kind of figured, there's something unique. So,
Are we aware of who else has ducks in town?
Not presently.
Yep.
I mean, I know when I've checked the like Baumgart's receipt thing, they have, they've had a couple of people from Paullina buy some, so between Spencer and Cherokee, so.
Well, that might not be, not saying that they're in town.
No.
So
But do you realize your petition says the undersigned shows support for the opposition of the following?
And you got it the wrong way.
So
I
the
think.
petition, all these people that signed
Yeah.
to say the undersigned shows support for the opposition of adding ducks to the city of Paullina ordinance.
So this says that they're against it. The way you.
they're
worded it.
they're for it.
But this
That's
says
not
the
what it
undersigned
says.
shows support for the opposition of adding ducks to the city of Paullina ordinance.
Oh,
regardless of that, we don't really have a petitioning process. It's more a consideration.
Right.
So the issue, the challenge that we have is, we, just like the other cities around this area and really across the state, have pretty much the same nuisance definition to not allow raising of farm animals and fowl in town, because that's too close of quarters to work with that. Paullina did make the amendment to the ordinance for chickens back. It happened to be during a COVID timeframe.
It was before COVID.
What's that?
It was before COVID.
I think it was before.
I don't know.
Yeah, it could have been right before COVID, but
Okay.
it was around that time.
Sure.
Okay. So there wasn't a change made on that. All of the neighboring towns don't allow chickens or ducks.
Yeah, I think you said they did, but none of them do except for Cherokee with a permit.
Cherokee chickens with a permit.
Right. The rest of them don't allow it.
Same more Hardin,
So-
Marcus, Granville, Ramsey, Sheldon, Pringar. So I think, the concept is obviously, people that live in town, agree that to certain things because of the small lots and
Right.
neighbors and things like that. So, the common thing with cities is, those farm animals need to be raised out in the agricultural area, not in the city proper.
So we've already determined or voted on the fact that it is a nuisance, right?
Correct.
So we're into the abatement process now, right?
Yeah, if we're gonna change it or not change it.
Yep. What will our abatement process be? And the abatement process typically is that needs to be abated within a reasonable amount of time.
I mean, I would be okay if we, if we're gonna stick with the nuisance, to let them keep the ducks till after the O'Brien County Fair, since that was the primary goal, that's the primary goal.
And that's in July?
In July.
Yeah, like the
Except we
19th or
don't
the
go to
24th or something.
21st.
21st?
The Monday and
Okay.
over that.
Okay.
Can we do that? Can we make an abatement like that? Yeah, that we make this, can we do that? Can we do a change for just a few months?
The ordinance says a reasonable amount of time.
So that's up to us.
Oh,
That is.
So it would be up to us to decide what is a reasonable.
Sure.
amount of time.
do abate.
The spirit of the ordinance probably is, like as soon as possible versus not as soon as an event happens, probably.
Right.
I'm sure.
But they're not sitting here in our seats right now, so we can determine what we want to do. The makers, the original people. We can determine what's reasonable amount.
Sure.
And when did you first get the ducks in?
We've had them since June of last year. We'll be almost a year old now. I would say they're very spoiled, so I don't know what they would do if we sent them out to a farm.
They need visitors.
I will say that we did have a different nuisance abatement that did end up going to court, and they were given 60 days after that court date to fix the nuisance.
As I say, I don't have a problem with that.
I think it's a good idea.
60 days would be after fair time, but that would be
Okay.
after
Follow
fair
that.
time.
Any council members want to make a motion on this? To propose what the maker of the motion wants to put on the table?
Make sure I'm all right.
I'll move that, we give that applicant, anyway, give the people that.
The resident. of the property.
60 days to come in compliance with the ordinance. with our ordinances. Then that's, I mean,
So in 60 days, they have to be gone.
yep, they have to take care of the abatement, yep, the nuisance issue. Yep, exactly.
Okay, so I have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, I assume we're ready to vote. Let's do a roll call vote on this, please, Michelle.
Yep. Steve Heron,
Aye.
Denny Workmeister,
Aye.
Jean Enra,
Aye.
Nicole Jacobs.
Aye.
Carol Hunkell.
Aye.
All right. That motion passes. That's
So
your
do
date.
you understand what needs to be done now? That you have 60 days from today, and then the ducks have to be gone.
Yeah, completely gone.
If you guys amend the ordinance, which one are they obligated to? The amended
Follow,
ordinance?
yeah,
or the
follow.
ordinance tonight?
We haven't
amended.
voted to amend an ordinance at this point in time.
I know that you've got something on there to discuss it, so if in 60 days it's amended, which ordinance are they obligated to?
That would be dealt with at the time we amend the ordinance, but right now they're obligated. We don't have an amended ordinance. This is the abatement process, the time frame on it. So it's this current ordinance. So is there any interest amongst the council to consider amending an ordinance? We could vote on that now as well, or we could put that on the next agenda, but
I do not.
I do not.
so if you want to make a motion to not consider amending the ordinance.
I will make a motion to not consider an ordinance amendment.
Gotta make it positive. What happens is, we make a positive motion, and then if you're not in favor, you vote against that positive motion.
Okay, you make it.
Just gotta take the word not out.
Okay, so,
How do you do that? Make an amendment or make a motion to,
How about if you make a motion to leave the current nuisance ordinance as it.
as is.
Yeah. So ordinance, chapter 2, article 8, 8.01R, to make a motion to leave that
ordinance
ordinance
as is.
Is that,
Yep.
Okay, where'd you get that? Chapter,
so chapter 2, article 8, item 1R is the section that defines farm animals and fowl as a nuisance.
okay, so I will make a motion to keep chapter 2, article 8, item 1R standing as is for the ordinance.
I will second that.
Well, that's a positive motion.
Thanks.
Yeah. And you know which way you gotta vote, everybody, right? Because we want that ordinance to stay as is. So.
Right.
Right. Motion is to leave it to stay as is. So
Yep,
positive
as is.
vote is
Yep.
as is. Yep. Okay, any other discussion on that? Hearing none, let's do a roll call vote, please, Michelle.
Steve Heron,
Aye.
Denny Workmeister,
Aye.
Jean Enra,
Aye.
Nicole Jacobs.
Aye.
Carol Hunkell.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for coming, guys. All right, we will move on to the consent agenda items that were taken off the consent. The first one would be B5B1, approved claims. So you understand that.
Yeah, on the additional claims at South O'Brien Insurance for $104,591 for the entire year. We are able to get a renewal as of July 1st, but we have to pay this entire amount. And then South O'Brien Insurance reimburses us back for April, May, and June. That's the only way they could do it for us to have,
Beyond the fiscal year.
beyond the fiscal year.
And then it will be
After
changed.
that,
to
it'll
fiscal
be-
year
It'll
after
be
that.
July 1 renewals from
So
then
you
on out.
pay this and you get 3 months back.
Yes.
Right.
Which would be normal anyway, right, as far as payments are.
Yeah. It just looks like a chunk.
Yeah.
It is a chunk.
It is a
Yeah,
chunk.
it is a chunk.
Okay.
Okay. So any other questions on the claims?
Carol, did you want me to say something? Or Nate, for Kane's mileage, was that just Paullina related?
Well, I mean, we're picking up the mileage, they picked up I think Sutherland picked up his payroll, so to speak.
Okay.
We're splitting the cost of that.
Okay.
Okay. That's what we wondered.
All right.
Okay.
So what claims are we doing now, the April and the May to June ones, or just the May to June ones?
April claims were with April financials. The claims that are in here are, what are the dates that are on
May
there?
25th to June 10th?
Yeah.
Okay, so all of that we're voting on now, okay.
Okay, any other questions? If not, I'm entertaining a motion to approve the claims.
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, say aye. Carried. All right, item 5C, Jamboree. We've got the motion in front of you on the desk. Can you explain that?
Yep. This can be a standing resolution until the time where something changes. Instead of every year having to write a new resolution and approve it, it can be standing until it's rescinded or it's superseded by a new action. I did forget to put Mickley Street from Grant to Commerce on here, so whoever reads that resolution will need to add that on also.
What's the time frames on Mickley?
7 a.m. to 4 p.m.
All right, I would entertain a motion to approve this resolution as changed.
Okay.
You're going to?
Sure. Do I need to read the standing resolution?
Sure. Just-
Standing resolution to close city streets for Paulina's Jamboree celebration held annually during the last weekend in June. Be it resolved by the Council of the City of Paulina, Iowa, to approve a standing resolution closing the following streets for Jamboree. Main Street from Grand Avenue to Bertha Street from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Commerce Street from Main Street to Clark Street from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Mickley Street from Grand Avenue to Commerce Street, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. This resolution will remain in effect until rescinded or suspended by a new action.
All right, we've got a motion and a second.
Second.
Any discussion, questions? Clarification, should this be, I'm just thinking about it now, should this say Jamboree Saturday? Is it clear that Jamboree is one day, or does it go Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
There is stuff on Friday, but that's the golf tournament. So not in town.
I wonder if to clarify, should this say Jamboree Saturday on an annual basis, or?
Yeah, because this is the only street closures that we're going to need is going to be Saturday.
Saturday.
Mhm.
So somebody want to amend that, or the maker and the seconder, do you want to do that as a friendly amendment to the motion?
I'll make as a friendly amendment to the motion to add Jamboree Saturday.
How about Stevie, okay with seconding it?
Yep, I'll second that amendment.
Okay, any discussion?
So should it be Saturday, the last Saturday of June, or should it be? Or
This allows us to be flexible. If we would just say Jamboree Saturday, then if
Yeah.
it would ever change, it would be other than last Saturday.
okay.
Everybody okay with this? It is a resolution, so if you're ready to vote, so,
You need to vote on that amendment.
vote unless the maker wants to read. We can vote on the amendment. I was just.
You want me to reread it? I can do that if we
I'm not
need
making
to.
it complicated, but maybe we should just vote on the amendment.
Okay, fine. So, who made the amendment? Jean also.
Me
made the
also.
amendment to her. Okay, so this is to add Saturday to the amendments. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye. Carried. Now back to the amended motion. Any other discussion on that? Hearing none, roll call vote, please, Michelle.
Steve Heron,
Aye.
Denny Workmeister, Jean Unruh,
Aye.
Nicole Jacobs,
Aye.
Carol Hunkemp.
Aye.
Okay. All right. We will move on to item number 8. TCA program, or Michelle, do you want to present this, please?
I received a call from TCA saying that Donna Jensen's programming board tenure will be up, but she is interested in staying on there.
It starts July 1st.
I would entertain a motion to approve Donna as Paullina's board member.
I'll make a motion to approve Donna Jensen to continue to be a member of the TCA programming board.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Was there any other people that stepped forward and
Not that I heard.
Did you talk to DJ?
Yes.
Mhm.
And he said,
Yes, he said she has the cable, which she got
Oh.
already after
okay,
she
good.
started 2 years ago. Because he said there's no way you can do it without being on. He said people call you, they're gonna wanna know why you don't have certain stations or channels. So
Okay.
she also
Alright,
then
good.
took it
Okay.
and is continuing, and he said she has come a long way,
Okay, good.
learning what has to be done.
All right,
So, yep, nope, he said he was just fine.
good deal.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye. Carried. Item number 9, Michelle.
You've all had the Tyler packet for probably a month now, I think.
Yeah, the book.
Yeah. I hate to guess
It's not
what
in
this
there.
right
It's not in this one.
$300.
So, I mean, I would hope if there was questions, they would have been raised by now. Because we need to get it rolling or we're not gonna have anything by the first year.
Yep.
Did legal counsel look at it, Michelle?
What?
Did legal counsel look at it?
She did, that was the questions that I think I included before.
Yep.
It wasn't anything of great concern, it was just kind of an FYI.
I'm sure she looked at the liability insurance and termination clause and indemnification, that's your normal stuff. Yeah.
She had it for a while.
Take a while.
No kidding.
Light reading book.
Okay. So I would entertain a motion to approve the contract with Tyler Technologies.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract with Tyler Technologies.
We have a second. Steve, okay, any other discussion, questions?
And you said they come in and they actually help you learn the program. They just don't send it to you.
They have training.
Okay. That's what you're gonna tell me, huh?
Well, that's good.
But it will be training here, or is it gonna be someplace else?
Then
You
I
don't
can't
know.
say, I'm not sure.
I think I brought this up at the last time we looked at this. There's requirements in the contract to have people available to be like a committee or something. Am I way off? Maybe I'm thinking something different, but I thought there was some additional personnel that would be needed somewhere.
It
along
does say that even on Tish's thing. too.
Okay.
Mhm, that would determine a project manager and a steering committee.
Okay.
And any other roles.
That'd just be something we would do internally, though.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Michelle
Right.
would be the project manager and you.
Right.
pull in a
Yep.
steering
And then
committee.
decide if she needs.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions, discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Both say aye. Carry. Right. Item number 10, street repairs. At the last meeting, the council asked Kelly and Michelle to put together a list of the street repairs that they recommend, which are in here. And they're still in here as both options, limestone and quartzite, so we wanna approve which one. So do you have?
No, the ones that are highlighted are what we want.
Yes.
Oh, they're both on here.
Yeah,
Okay, but
the ones that are highlighted is
So-
where we chose.
okay, so these quartz, sticking with quartzite. One of them that I noticed wasn't on here was North Main, where it just goes past the boulevard and goes down. There's a pretty big hole inside there. Will that be able to be just repaired by us instead of them?
Yeah, plan on having them do that in North Main next year, so we'll get it.
In the meantime, we can patch it.
Yep.
That's the boulevard they're gonna be working on.
What's that?
Is that the boulevard then they're gonna be working on?
Yeah, the boulevard and north of there some.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the boulevard is not included on here, right?
No.
Right.
The only one I wasn't for sure about was that number 11, from looking at my old sheet from 2 weeks ago. I didn't see that 125. I've seen everything else we had looked at.
Well, that's just that small patch.
I know it is, but
That's just a
where's
small
House
patch.
304? Where's that?
It'd
South Clark, it says, so it should be down.
That'd be by like DJ Hanson's.
Okay, down in that area, okay. Right. Otherwise, everything was good.
This is basically everything we had on the list minus
The first one.
like the parking and
Mhm.
parking at Swanson and then the North Main.
These are like the absolutely need tos.
So this one should say fiscal 26, right, versus fiscal 27?
What I said, no, North Main's fiscal 27.
Oh,
What you're
North,
looking at.
oh, got
Fiscal 26.
okay, so North Main isn't happening at all. That's just
Oh,
happening.
I see, I didn't even see that part.
So this 53,000 being approved is for fiscal 26.
And that was put into the budget. Okay. So we have the dollars to do all of these.
Yeah, this is the one that, what, you said 75,000 in the budget, this thing, so for
Yep, right.
driveway approaches and stuff.
You even have a little extra patch.
Right?
Okay, if the council is okay with that, I would entertain a motion to approve that street repair list for fiscal 26.
I'll make a motion to approve that street list for fiscal year 26.
For a total of
$53,633.10.
I'll second.
okay, any other discussion?
I was just wondering, is this something we're gonna try to accomplish this year yet, or will it be into 26 before we?
It'll be in 26.
Should be 26.
All right, any other questions?
I'll call them tomorrow. Get on their schedule.
That's what I was kinda wondering about, if this blacktop organization, if they're gonna be free in 26 or not, I guess.
Yeah.
But the price
Are
will
they-
be the same.
They must be booking ahead then.
Fiscal 26 is only, what, 30 days away?
Oh, that's true, right?
Oh, right. That's what I was thinking.
When he came in, he said it'd probably be late July, early August when they came. So.
Okay.
Good.
Good.
Any other questions? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye. Carried. Item number 11, Town and Country garbage disposal contract. Michelle.
Okay, I have already posed a couple questions to Town and Country. The commercial, it's all dumpsters, it's not the totes, how we had changed our ordinance for the tote rate, so I said that needed to be corrected.
So what you're saying is that this contract says it's all dumpsters, not, are they?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I asked her to work on that.
Okay.
And Carol had some questions that I also sent to Josh.
Right.
And you know, it's not a flat fee like it had been. It's per resident. So if you look at the services,
Like on page 33 or further up?
you're like your services for single family units.
Okay, yeah,
It's
What page is that on?
it's page 33. So for solid waste trash collection and transportation services pursuant to this agreement, the city shall pay provider the amount of $11 per month per resident for each 65-gallon trash receptacle. So we're not paying that flat fee anymore.
so we won't, okay, that's what I wondered, if there wasn't a monthly fee, that's why there isn't. Okay, I
And then
wondered about that,
the $225 per month for recycling.
okay,
And then we still have our landfill charges.
right,
which
and we get, that it was a monthly fee though, wasn't it, pretty well, landfill? I thought we got that for last year already.
That's why we have to charge extra tonnage for commercial,
Okay,
because we're charged more.
okay.
We're charged,
Which that won't be our responsibility.
that will no longer be our responsibility.
They
Well,
will,
they'll take care of
they
that,
will bill the commercial.
They will build the commercials.
and that will be nice for you guys.
So one of the things under the, as you read for the first bullet point, $11 a month per residence. So make sure that they have per residence and commercial blue dumpster. Because they will bill us for those, right? I presume for the commercial
Right.
blues.
And if anybody wants more, things for their, containers, they have to talk to them about getting extras, or how do they do that?
Extras, like
Bins?
Garbage bins, yeah,
extra totes, yeah.
yeah, they have to talk to them. Cause that
But
would be,
then
like,
we
if somebody
will-
has 2 of them or 3 of them, they get charged like $22 or $33, okay.
No, they'll get charged double or what we charge.
Do we still have any extras?
So if anybody has any questions, you're not approving this tonight.
No.
I'm just putting it out there for everyone to read. Get questions to me. I'm gonna send it to Tisha also. That way, when we're ready, because we need to get it approved to the next council meeting, because it's in effect July 1.
Right.
My changes are more language related, so I'll just let you have this.
Okay.
And then you can ask legal counsel if I'm barking up the wrong tree or not.
Sure.
I think they'll understand it.
Who will be contacting our current commercial customers? Let
I
them,
can ask Josh for sure.
does he have that contact information, or is that
Everyone?
for all the commercial?
No, you don't have any of those.
So that-
Yeah.
yeah, so we probably need to provide that to him, and we should probably maybe send a letter out to our commercial and just tell them, give them a heads up. Okay.
That's all the extra time I have right now.
Oh, yeah,
Is that something that one of us can
Reach
help
out.
It
with?
would be great.
Okay.
yes.
All right.
sure, for sure, yeah, you can.
Michelle, all you gotta do
you
is
can
ask.
delegate.
Yeah, right. And all you gotta do is ask us.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Make sure they know that you won't be doing it.
Okay, any other questions? Michelle will follow up on. Okay.
Just email me or whatever, call me if you have something. And
Got it. Okay, we'll move on to item number 12, reports. Kelly and Michelle.
go ahead, your names first.
I was contacted by the lake. They're getting close to hooking up the sewer out there to our lagoon. We did get the main transformer for the school that's hooked up and running. We did get the interduct for Zion School put in. We have been doing some tree trimming, sewer maintenance, sweeping. We did a couple days of branch pickup from the storm. We went out and did the whole town right after the storm, and then waited till Tuesday after Memorial Day, just so everybody could have some time to get stuff to the curb. Got landscaping at the switchgear done, got some phasing done. I just wanted to bring it up, maybe. I know there are towns that have like, where they can call in, and if they need to get rid of a couch or a appliance or something, they can pay a fee anytime during the year and get rid of it. And I don't know if that would help with our junk pickup problems.
Might help, yeah.
And there are people, you know, that have something go out at an inopportune time and then have to wait a month before they can
Would be
get
a
rid
great
of it.
idea.
And that is another thing I asked Josh to spell out specifically, is what is the amount of refuge they will pick up
Right.
on citywide cleanup.
Yeah, I think we need that in that contract. Yeah. So you guys have some background to say, this is what we're doing. And I have heard people that have done that already. What you said, called them and said, hey, I got this big whatever. And they charge them an extra fee for it, and it's gone.
Right.
Now, would you have to take that to the landfill, or will they just,
I mean,
tell
as
me
long
how
as
to-
it's not
Has to be.
appliances, we'd probably have to, get enough for a load, but like if it's a couch or if it's broken piece of furniture, I mean, we could just throw that stuff in the dumpster and it could be gone, so.
Okay.
Still looking for a deputy clerk or applications for a deputy clerk? Contact the office, or they can email.
Good, reach out, please, all of you out there. Super. All right. Mayor, one of the things I wanted to mention is to put the word out there again, we still have city lots available. We were going to sell them to clean improvement, but we've been talking to some of the cities around, learning more about the incentives that they have put in place for those. So if there's anybody that's interested in a lot, please contact the city, because we can probably put some incentives around to get you a very good price on a lot, to build a house on with our available lots here in the town. So, and then I was wondering, could we also get for sale signs out with our city phone number on, the ones that don't have it, like the down by Zion, and let people know that they're actually still available.
Get some more.
Right. Great. City Council, any comments from anybody? Including on committees, anything there? Have we heard anything from the airport on the spur planes? Okay,
I guess I don't, as far as what?
as far as when it's gonna be happening, why don't you, on the airport committee, maybe check with them just so we could get a heads up on when that activity is gonna be happening, and probably meet with them to determine an agreement proactive ahead of time. Hopefully we should first find out when that spraying happens. I don't remember the dates on that area, so.
Much later in the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering, I see sprayers out in the field, brown sprayers out already, and I didn't know how much later that would happen, so.
Can I go back? Kelly, have you done any more on that mosquito stuff? Are we,
I have not.
okay. So,
Yeah, if you could do that and give some information on options probably by the next meeting, hopefully, that'd be great.
Great, yeah.
Okay,
If not, I have a handheld. You can use it. Just
Are
saying.
you gonna run down the alleyways?
You're gonna give that to him.
Jump on Kelly's back and away you go.
Exercise.
all right.
I think I take your motorcycle. What you're gonna do.
There you go.
It's
You
not
do
as
it with
loud, like a motorcycle would be, but the fogger's not.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, so we'll move on to departments. Nate, please, anything? What should residents do? How do we enforce and follow up on fireworks that are happening? Just call them in. And I call them in 911 call, or do we have another one that people should call? I really, but a lot of people don't have a call-in number other than that to dispatch, because it'd be.
I guess you could,
It's just a
I guess you could say this is not an emergency, but.
Right.
But there is a number.
So
It is
957 3415. Number to call for any report of fireworks and whatever.
Right,
Did you say that was 957 or?
Yep.
3415.
3415.
Okay,
Oh, that's good.
nobody here from fire and ambulance? Matt, library?
You bet. All right,
A few different things, good and, well, frustrating, but I just wanted to update you. The hiring committee at the library extended a job offer to Nicole Palmer, and she accepted. And so we anticipate at our board meeting next week that the board will fully approve her for hiring, with the goal of her starting her training July 1st. So, and that would be simple, lining her up with the fiscal year. So, and then I will phase out through July. So, get her trained and then be available as we do annual reports and different things throughout the year. It's really hard to hand all the work I did for that year to someone else to try and describe to the state, but that'll just be pro bono work. But we're excited. Nicole is a recent grad from ISU. She's an English major, and she's very eager to start. The board was very pleased. And yep, it helps that she's got some local connections here. So she's very excited.
Super.
Sounds good.
We did receive a grant from the Orion County Community Foundation. We'll be officially receiving it in June or next week. It wasn't quite what we had applied for. They had a lot of applications for a lot of funds, and so we were a little bit limited. So we'll be hunting around and trying to find out the difference. So
what were you hoping for?
So the project is $25,000. We had asked for 14, and they were able to give us 5. So between the library foundation, we're going to ask for some funds. We're going to look through what we have in our savings that we could use, and we're going to try and sort that out this month so that we can get the AC moving and going. Ours, it is running, but it is a lot of flickering, as it kicks in every hour. So,
sounds good.
Summer reading, we're getting ready for that. We're really excited. We're changing up how we're operating our summer reading this year. We're doing a lot more outside the library. We have a lot of businesses and organizations who've already agreed to have different story stops at their businesses, even here at the city office. And so we'll have a ticket that the kids will collect at the library that then they can go around and get punched at all these different events throughout the summer where they can have a story or see bubbles or do a whole bunch of different things. But kind of getting out among the town as their ticket to read. And then we had a little bit of incident, but we don't know how it happened, but somehow one of our front windows got shattered sometime over the Memorial Day weekend. We're not sure. We don't know if it's kind of a far-flung idea if a rock came all the way from the street. The coffee ladies think someone took a pot shot at it. It probably was a mower rock or something, but it just hit just right at the weakest part of that window, and the whole thing is just scarred. So we did call it into the insurance, and we did call in and get an estimate done, and of course it falls $150 short of our deductible. So we'll have to be hunting for that money. I did mention it to Michelle. I'm not sure how we want to handle that as a city building. Do I need to, find that out of a book budget, or how we handle that? The work probably isn't going to get done until July. So it's just the exterior pane of glass. So the interior, we're still environmentally sound. And then we did tarp it because it is all going to fall down here soon, and I don't want to take it out of the landscape.
Right.
Yeah. So those are my updates. Some of them are really great. Some of them are.
Yeah. Oh, something. Sounds good.
That's all I got.
Okay, thanks, Matt, and thanks for your service.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And so on that, we'll be back. So when she starts, we'll have her come to a council meeting, introduce her, get her used to you guys. And yeah, it's been awesome serving. It's been really good working with you. So I'm gonna miss it a lot.
What, you've been 2 years in charge?
We're almost at 3.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember when you started.
Yeah.
That's when you're having fun.
Yes.
Good.
It's been a hoot.
All right, thanks. Hey, Michelle, can
Thanks,
I move
Matt.
back up to city clerk reports? Can you give people an update of what's happening with the landscaping up front?
Oh,
Just as people are wondering.
Waiting for Faye at the hardware store to come up with what she wants to do, a plan, and we did save, I tried to save most of the perennials. I did take one. Yeah, I did take one home to try to save it, but
Yeah, one kind of
You
died.
know?
I know the one by the
Make
side
it-
needs to probably be dumped too, that
Yeah.
grass.
So I'm sure she'll come up with some really good ideas.
And I suggested to Michelle that she, she's got a couple different ideas. You kind of look at them or ask one of us to come in or bring it all to the council, however you want to do it. If she's got more than one plan.
And then with that same project, I've gotten questions from a number of people who were wondering why we tore that wall down. Just wanted to let people know that it needed to come down. It was frost heaving and deterioration, hot, cold. The mortar was letting loose and bricks were coming loose, and so just so that people know that.
I think it looks nice gone, actually.
And we saved the Frank Snow's plaque.
Yeah.
And pole.
And pole.
And
pole. Okay, good.
He's got them all.
We're gonna potentially let the council do this, I'm not really sure, but potentially a new fire station, put up the flagpole there.
Right.
Great.
Yep. And then
That'd be
also you're
great.
thinking the Frank shows there too. If we do the police department there too. So that'd be perfect.
And we did get an estimate on that brick. I don't know, it's been probably a couple years ago. And it was like 3,000 or 4,000 to replace that wall,
It
so.
was.
Sure.
Thanks, Kiana.
Thank you. See
Thank
you.
Please, Kevin. And then if we could, I think I agree to get some vinyl lettering temporary for the door, right? So I want to make sure we weren't both ordering, so.
Right.
We want to get City Hall,
Right.
there's nothing that says City Hall right now.
And that never has. Never has.
That's right, Kelly said when he interviewed here, he didn't know which building to go to, because nothing said City Hall,
Well, you know
or
what?
City Office.
I
Yeah,
put
I've
City
had
Hall in,
people
and
ask-
brought me to the municipal lot behind the grocery
Oh.
store.
It's crazy.
All right, that's our agenda. Anybody want to do item 13?
I'll move, we adjourn.
I'll second.
That was Nicole.
Yep.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye. Carried, we are adjourned. 6:37.
What are you doing? Falling out of your chairs? Too young.